individual. So you cannot mention the entire florate, means all florates are neuter. Individual parts means we have to now, almost we have done with all the parts, you know, the types of flowers and all. But before doing the individual parts, I would like to, you know, tell you certain structures, certain typical structures in flowers, certain structures in flowers. So first we go to the bract. No, first we do with perianth. First we do with perianth. What is perianth? In some of the flowers, the sepals and petals are totally undifferentiated. What is the meaning of undifferentiated? You don't know it is a sepal or a petal. Lilies you have seen, na? Lilies are very common, and these days they are one of the most popular flowers. Lilies, the colorful parts what you see is it is undifferentiated sepal and petal. Is it clear? Okay, and that whole is known as perianth. Is it clear? There is the unit structure is called tepal, but this term we don't have, so I'm not writing. So perianth is what? The undifferentiated whole of sepal and petal. You don't know what it is, like it is not differentiated. Sepals and petals are undifferentiated. What is the unit structure? The unit structure is tepal. Again, not in syllabus. Tepal term is not in syllabus. Perianth is there in the syllabus. Is it clear? Example, lily. In some, the undifferentiated tepal or undifferentiated perianth, that is one undifferentiated sepal and petal, they appear like sepals. They appear like perianth appears like sepals. Is it clear? That means they are green leaf-like. Is it clear? So we call them as sepaloids. Easy terms, we call them as sepaloids. Is it all right? And if the perianth appears like petal, we call it petaloid. Sepaloid, petaloid. Is it all right? So undifferentiated sepals and petals. Now the next term we are coming to bract. See, I have brought a flower, we call it bougainvillea. Is it? This is a flower you have seen, it's quite common, you have seen it. If you see it properly, you will find that there are flowers inside. All of you have seen, no? Tube-like flowers. You can see this flower. This is the actual flower, and this is so tiny, so inconspicuous, it cannot attract insects. Is it clear? This one. Is it clear? This one. Of course, this is still in bud form. This one is still in bud form. So these are very inconspicuous. Is it clear? So in some flowers, a leaf-like structure arise. A leaf-like structure arise. It can be little fleshy or scaly. In this case, it is more or less scaly. Is it? It is quite, thin. A leaf-like structure appears, and from the axil of the leaf-like structure. What is the meaning of axil? Axil is the part where the stalk is attached to the branch. Is it clear? This is the axil. From the axil of the leaf-like structure grows up the flower. Is it all right? So this is not the actual leaf, it is just a leaf-like structure to make the flower more attractive. Is it? So here is so you will find that there are 3 of them. There are 3 of them, leaf-like. And from the axil, again I'm repeating what is axil. This is, whatever it is attached to. It can be a branch, it can be anything to it is attached to the stalk, wherever. Is it clear? And it is a leaf-like structure. This portion is known as axil, and from here grows a part of the flower remains attached to the stalk, and here grows the flower. Is it all right? This is not the actual leaf, but it is a leaf-like structure. In most of the cases it is colorful, but in certain cases it can be green as well. So this kind of structures are known as the bracts. They are the bracts. Is it clear? Okay. So bracts are the leaf-like structures from the axil of which grows the flower. Is it all right? So you can always, you can see here also, here if I am showing it, if you can see it properly, you can see that this is the axil, and from where a portion of the flower is still attached, you can find some of them, and here this is the flower. This is the actual flower, and the flower is so small. Sorry, I want focus. The flower is so small, you can see the flower is so small that it cannot attract insects. Even if they are clumped up, if 3 of them are there, they are not prominent enough to attract insects, isn't it? They are not prominent enough to attract insects. So they grow from the base of leaf-like structures which are colorful, which appear to be petals, but they are not petals. Is it clear? And these structures are known as bracts. Okay? Now, the next one we are going to do, these are the structures which are meant to attract insects. The insect pollinating flowers, they have lot of modifications in them. They have lot of, they do lot of changes in them to attract insects. See, this is one of them. They developed an extra structure, that is bract. Next comes the nectaries. What are the nectaries? Nectaries are certain structure which produce a nutritive substance called nectar. They are usually present at the base of pistil or at the base of petals. Is it clear? At the base of petals. Why at the base of petals? So that the insect reach down, and while reaching down, it is made sure that it is touching every part of the flower, of the reproductive parts of the flower, so that pollination is ensured. It is not on top, it is down, deep down inside the flower, at the base of the petals or at the base of the pistil. Is it clear? What are nectaries? They are glands which are meant to secrete a sweet nutritive secretion we call as nectar. Is it okay? So this is, in your book it is very clearly mentioned, there are many, there are nectaries, I have not nectaries. There are many flowers which secrete nectar, but one of the flower which is very prominent is nasturtium. You will find when you come back to school during the